following is a technical analysis on FLYWire Corporation, a company of the technology sector and information technology services here off the monthly interval. And I am of the conviction that we have encountered a pretty significant juncture within the stock's trajectory through a analysis of bearish candlestick patterns and the ebbing technical momentum indicators observed within the broader temporal horizons, honing in from the monthly, weekly, and then ultimately the daily interval. Whereas we have a pretty significant big volume at price indication profile around this zone here, and we have what you would call 3280 price resistance, call it a multi-year resistance. Whereas we have the reactionary low of 2021 in the summer of 2021, followed by another reactionary low in the late, call it the fall of 2021, and then ultimately two reactionary highs beginning of 2022 summer, and then as of now the June reactionary high here of 2023. And we'll zoom in here. We have a bearish doji star candle close monthly interval here, followed by a secondary indecisive close, a monthly interval close again, and then now with only just days left within the trading session of this monthly candle close, a bearish looking wick candlestick pattern there. And we'll zoom into the weekly interval now. And whereas I see here in the weekly interval, I just had a sort of a not the most well-defined bearish engulfing looking pattern that preceded the much smaller green candle close here, with oscillator histogram momentum just waning like a hill to the downside, potentially testing that zero line threshold. Whereas we have the price oscillator and histogram, price oscillator and the moving average convergence just flatlining, going back as far as March, really almost throughout the entire year of 2023, where we are down 1.8% on the day, with the NASDAQ surging to the upside, right across the board, almost up, believe it was over 1% of a rally today, off of all kinds of good economic data that had presented itself. So again, just a decoupling event going on with this stock. Whereas we'll zoom into the daily interval now, and this is where I see a significant turning point, much larger. And here it is. We'll have a nice big divergent high here with negative and bearish divergences that have just continued to establish really amongst all three technical momentum indicators going back as far as February, with the reactionary primary uptrend line low off the November 2022 lows. And again, just a multitude of reactionary lows to help string that validation. And we have a potential sell signal looming as of now. Bull traders, dip buyers, they need to step in right here, right now, especially on a retest of this 2970 price resistance. The 50-day and 50 exponential moving average is really just being threatened as of now. And I believe a sharp, a bigger move to the downside, ultimately taking out the 2970, will also take you into this volume profile gap with already a bearish crossover on both the moving average convergence and oscillators, and they will ultimately take out those zero line thresholds. And when that damage occurs, I would only suspect a potential big move to the exits, emergency doors exits, with a ton of stops to go off, and a much larger move down to that 2806 price support for another 6.7% drop, down to 2662 for an 11.8% crash. And then ultimately, if bull traders, long traders step in here with a counter trend or snapback rally, that would apply an additional objective entry short at the bottom of this primary uptrend line there, which would be a 3.6% rally to the upside, and then ultimately again an objective entry, if not an add-on to your position short, for that first target of 2970 for a 4.7% drop, 2806 for a 10% double-digit crash, and then ultimately the 2662 for a 14.6% crash. And if we end up burning that out and take out that, really recover that primary uptrend line, even stronger resistance up in that 3280 price range, which coincides with the monthly moving interval there. And again, just a strong level of resistance up there. And I would only suspect bull traders and or long traders to slowly be turning their heads towards a bear awakening from hibernation.